If you died, came back to life, and now you're forced to hunt aliens in a real-life death game, what would you do? I'm going to break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the aliens in Gantz. K is your typical high school student, and he's going to die. He's self-centered as hell and has embarrassingly high levels of testosterone. He goes through the usual hum and drum life of school, and on the way home decides to take the metro. But that was his biggest mistake, and one that will cost him dearly. At the metro, he meets this old fossil of a lady who asks for directions, just as he sees his old classmate, selfless Kato. Suddenly, this drunken fool falls down onto the track, and nobody tries to help him. K has no interest, but Kato rushes to save him and struggles to lift him off of the track, just as he spots K. He drags K down onto the track through some good old-fashioned high school awkwardness. The boys then manage to help the homeless man, but now the train is barreling down towards them and they can't get back up, so they start to run. Okay, this is absolutely horrifying. Kato may have played the hero card without thinking, but it's exactly this kind of recklessness that is going to cost him big. The two boys are lucky that they both had the strength to carry that bum over the platform, but that was risky. Like the same reason why they advise adults to put on oxygen masks first before putting it on their child in an airplane. You can't help someone if you can't help yourself first. It's noted that trains have an average speed of between 125 to 200 miles per hour, with the latter end of the spectrum being more commonly found within the trains in Japan. However, like all trains, a decrease in speed is needed before a full stop at a station. This is why it is safe to assume that Kato or K could have instead ran towards the tunnel where the train was coming from and get the attention of the operator sooner, as the train would have already been in a gradual state of decreasing in speed, meaning there was a higher chance for the train to stop earlier before it ran over that bum on the track. This was the most obvious method of saving that fool. Trying to outrun the train by running to the opposite end of the tunnel was really their only option once they were on the tracks, despite how movies make it seem, because movie magic. Ducking under a train, while theoretically possible, is extremely unlikely, and one that would likely lead to a gruesome death. I'd say that bum had a good life, and if it wasn't good, then well, hey, sucks to be him, all the more reason to die an early death. The two boys run for their life, begging to be spared, but Mother Nature is one cruel mistress, as the train catches up to them and kills them. It decapitates them right then and there, with their lifeless heads plopping right into the rows of horrified passengers who witness the gruesome event. Suddenly, Kei and Kato end up in a strange apartment room. No pain, no nothing, as their bodies are completely normal. Something seriously freaky is going on, as they notice more people already in the room, staring back at them. And right in the middle of the room stands a ginormous black sphere, and it sits there menacingly across from them. Little do they know that this black sphere will change their lives forever. Kei demands to know what's going on and asks around the mysterious room if anyone has any idea. And to add to the scariness, they look out the window to see Tokyo Tower but can't, for the life of them, open the balcony doors. It's almost as if they're ghosts. This scares the hell out of them as they try to scream and find out just what the hell is going on. But unfortunately for them, no one can hear them scream, nor can they call for help, as their phones don't work. They're trapped in this room, and no one is coming to save them. They then find out from the silent crowd, who look back in amusement at the two boys, that everybody here is here for a reason, and that they all came here after dying horrible deaths, dying and reappearing in this very room in various ways, with no memory of how they got there. Kei then freaks out and gets mad at Kato, whose goody two-shoes niceness got them both killed. Okay, if I was suddenly in a room after being at a train station seconds earlier, this would have obviously meant that something was up. We have no idea what's going on. We could have observed by everyone telling us that everyone came here after dying, which means that this is likely what just happened to us, even if this fact feels like something out of a science fiction novel. Now, I'm no astrophysicist, but it's safe to say that what just happened isn't part of what we know about the universe in general. We're experiencing something alien-like that's happening to us, especially if we can't touch or interact with the windows or balcony doors. And knowing where we just came from, for example, lying dead under the tracks, this makes me suspect that either we're in heaven, hell, or some form of purgatory, and we're probably in for something far more sinister. Our only move here is to gather as much valuable information that we can from everyone here. I get everyone to start yapping away so I can find out enough details and hopefully find some correlations between their stories, because as much as I hate it, no one can hear our screams, meaning these strangers are our best bet in staying alive, or whatever the hell we are at this moment. moment. All of a sudden, a new member pops up in the room with everybody else, appearing through a laser projection, slowly coming into existence from thin air. This naked redhead girl then plops down into Kay's lap as he gets excited and horrified, but mostly excited, as people around him think he's a full-blown creep. I would agree with them. But this group isn't playing around, as this Yakuza member grabs her unconscious naked body and drags her into the hallway for some happy time. Everybody is scared shitless, and no one bats an eye, forcing Kato to play the hero card yet again and go save her. But he doesn't realize that this hero complex will cost him his life very soon. Kato then gets in between the Yakuza man and red-haired girl as he tries to choke him. Then all of a sudden, a horrifying sound rings out throughout the whole room, interrupting everyone and summoning them back into the other room. It's the Black Sphere. A message then is displayed on the screen saying, "Your lives are now over. What you do with your new lives is for me to decide." This creepy-haired kid then says that the Black Sphere's name is Gantz, and mentions that no one is getting out alive. Gantz then writes another message on the screen, showing a type of monster with its traits and abilities shown for all to see, implying that this is some kind of a terrifying game. Gantz suddenly opens up, revealing an arsenal of high-tech weapons designed to kill, and also reveals a strange man inside the Gantz machine. Kay then finds a case with his name on it as the others do the same. Inside, he discovers a black futuristic suit as he sees creepy-haired kid already putting on his. It's almost as if he knows something we don't. All of a sudden, the crowd is then transported one by one out of the room and into a mysterious street, as Kay rushes to put on his suit before disappearing. They then see a train track and decide to go to see which station they are near. Creepy-haired kid then explains the most insane thing ever and claims that aliens exist on Earth, and Gantz has tasked them with capturing them, and for each alien you kill, you get 10 million yen. He shows them his location device, revealing to the group the location of an alien, and he sets off. "It's showtime, boys!" And whatever the hell that means. All I know is that shit is about to go down, which means I need to leverage my odds in order to stay alive, because what this creepy-haired guy told me is whatever we're up against probably won't be a walk in the park. The room had suitcases with suits made specifically for us, with our own names on it. Gantz, or whatever the hell that means, was prepared for us to come here, and right now we're at a disadvantage since we lack the context or information to know what's really going on. Like a very, very bad game of dodgeball. We'll have a better chance if we pick the winning team to go with, and right now that team consists of just creepy-haired guy. He knows what's going on and even had the foresight to put on his suit earlier before anyone else did, which means he's either prepared or knows something that we don't, and at this point that's good enough for me. So I'm gonna charm the skinny jeans right out of this guy and make him my friend, cause I wanna live. Now there's a chance he may screw me over, since demonstrations in his character tell me that he's kind of a dick. So I bring Kato and Kay with me to stick with him throughout, along with the red-haired girl. If the off chance he screws me, well then that's what the red-haired girl is for. She'll make for a killer distraction. The group cautiously sets off, but this old man decides he's had enough bullshit for today and decides to head home. But once he leaves, a crazy lightning beam from the sky shoots down and right into the old man's head, causing it to explode, expelling his brains and human pieces all over the street. No one leaves until Gantz says so. Elsewhere, this glasses guy finds the green alien chilling in an apartment as he comes out and says, "Green onions are enough for me." The gang is confused as all hell, but isn't wasting no time. They don't realize it yet, but if they don't finish the objective in time, they will all die. The gang tries to kill the alien, but the gun doesn't work, and the alien sets off in fright, evading the group as he backflips off the ledge and lands on his head, spewing his brains on the pavement just as Kay and Kato show up. But this green alien is tough as hell as he gets up and runs off, with the gang running after him, passing by other normal people who are not suited up and who cannot see Kay or Kato or anyone. It's almost as if they are in the afterlife. Kato demands answers as he follows the group as they corner the green alien, just as this blonde hair guy shoots but misses the alien. But this alien's time is finished and the gang wants blood. They finally shoot him at point blank range as parts of his body get blown off one by one. Kato freaks out and begs them not to kill the alien, but it's too late. Just then they hear a girl across the balcony who yells for her mom, clearly not seeing any of the Gantz members right in front of her. Suddenly this blonde guy's face changes dramatically. His mouth begins to whimper and his eyes bulge out from his head as we find out that he's just been stabbed, and behind him we see a big green alien towering over them. This alien is much bigger and is thirsty for blood. I would like to point out that this is not the time to mess around. We gotta get our act together. This gang was given a short list of the alien's traits, including its traits and behaviors, which means they likely would have had an easier time dealing with this adult version of this alien if we just dealt with the child alien a little more discreetly, as it's obvious that the adult version of this alien grew much more angry once once it saw its child brutally massacred. Kei and Kato have the weaponry to deal with him, but at close range, this alien has retractable claws, making shorter range encounters more deadly than one would realize. I would have first dealt with this by shooting a center mass, such as the chest or stomach. If they know what's good for them, they would try and shoot off his limbs as soon as possible, as this will cripple arguably its most powerful offense, and then after will make him a lot easier to capture or kill. The big green alien then grabs this Yakuza guy by the head and traps him, piercing his skull with his razor-sharp claws. Glasses guy then fires his gun, but shoots the Yakuza guy instead, causing him to explode, littering his organs all over the floor. They now have only 30 minutes left. Everybody freaks out as the green alien monster cuts Glasses guy's arms off and kills Gray Suit guy. Bodies begin to pile up as Gray Suit guy gets back up a final time as he fires his pistol. The green alien then confronts Kato as he tries to reason with the monster because he doesn't want to kill anybody. The green monster then lunges for his throat as Kato dodges his attacks but falls off the road. Kei then takes red-haired girl because that's so typical of him and runs for their lives. But suddenly, the green alien is hit by a car, but the driver can't see who they hit, nor can they help Kei and red-haired girl ignore their terrible fate. They need to run now. The green alien is harder to kill than the Terminator, and he gets back up and chases the duo. Kei then distracts the green alien and lures him away from redhead girl. Kei running at a full sprint and jumps with all of his might off of a ledge, with his suit somehow propelling him higher into the sky than is humanly possible, landing without taking any fall damage. Looks like this suit has some powers. Okay, this was stupid on their end. We've just found some invaluable evidence that while people can't see us, we can still interact with everyday objects, making us different than that of ghosts. They literally had the perfect chance to steal that car from these unsuspecting people and could have gained the upper hand by having a car. From here, they obviously could have run him over again and again and again till that freaking little shit is dead. Or for a more effective method, they could have conducted drive-bys at close range without taking any damage or being at the mercy of this green alien's chasing speed, as it looks like he's pretty much as fast as us on foot, but not by car. Humans are so stupid! The green alien then meatball rolls down the stairs and tries to kill Kei just as Kato appears back from the dead and armbars the shit out of him, which was so freaking awesome, before Kei makes his suit give him super strength and beats the hell out of the alien, subduing him. Then someone out of nowhere fires a special gun and traps the alien. It's Creepy-Haired Kid, and it appears that his suit has the ability to make him invisible. Creepy-Haired Kid gives Kei the final honors to kill the green alien, but he can't do it. So Creepy-Haired Kid kills the alien once and for all. But their horrifying journey isn't over, not even close, and looks like someone is badly injured. It's Kato. The gang realizes that he's critically injured and on the verge of dying. Creepy-Haired Kid says that if he doesn't stay alive till the end of the game, then he dies for good. But if he can stay alive till the end of the timer, then the game will reset, healing him good as new. But it's not looking too good for him. And just then, everybody starts teleporting back to Gantz, much to the dismay of Kei and red-haired girl, who curse the heavens as they try to wake up Kato but fail. Back at the room, the gang sits in defeat, just as Kato somehow magically teleports back. He's alive. Gantz then gives everyone their scores, providing zeros all around except for Creepy-Haired Kid. Kei and Kato demand to know more about this world, as Creepy-Haired Kid spills the beans and tells them that he's been here for over a year, and how if people die in this game, Gantz then collects more people from the outside world to play. Creepy-Haired Kid then says they can all go back to their lives, resulting in everyone happily leaving the Gantz room to wait for the next death game. Okay, so we need to start studying on this shit as soon as possible. This includes learning about things imperative to our survival in a variety of situations, as who knows in this death game and where it takes place. We know one thing for sure, and that is no matter how much damage I take in the game, if I can make it back alive, even barely alive, then Gantz will make me good as new. This means that I need to learn how to stay alive long enough until the game ends. The mandatory killing alien part aside, I think we have a shot at surviving this if we start now. This includes learning a little bit more about survival tactics and military tactics, since our group is basically our own team of soldiers. For example, learning to attack from a defensive position, feigning a retreat, focusing more on skirmish tactics, if such a thing is even possible against these alien bastards. Once the crew leaves the Gantz building, their lives go back to normal, including not being invisible to everybody in the world, as if it were all a dream. But red-haired girl wishes it were a dream as she heads back home to some devastating news. Turns out she didn't kill herself and is now in the hospital recovering from her attempted suicide, which means this red-haired girl is now a copy of herself. Looks like Gantz made a mistake, and one that will now cost her badly. Later, Kei wakes up and finds out sadly that him now being an alien monster hunter was not a dream, and gets ready for for school knowing what we know, that it's only a matter of time until he's summoned to play again. The school routine then goes back into full swing, as Kay and everyone else go back to their regular classes and regular problems. Glasses Guy complains to Kay about his bully problems, but then this bully shows up demanding Glasses Guy to pay up, but says that he can transfer his debt to Kay if he wants to. And unfortunately for Kay, this is exactly what Glasses Guy does. Kay now has until after school to pay this bully, or else. After school, Kay stops by the bathroom as he tries to calm himself down. Unless he does something, he will get beaten to a bloody pulp by the school's most terrifying bully. But then his luck strikes again as he remembers he brought his Gantz high-tech suit back with him. He puts his suit on, getting ready to meet the bully. At the bully meeting, Kay stands quietly as the bullies beat up another man who owes them money, hoping that if he stays silent for long enough that he might just escape with his life. But this bully isn't having any of that, and he beats Kay to the ground, beating him so bad that he starts to go numb. But his horny brain just won't quit, and then he begins to have raunchy thoughts about red-haired girl. Disgusted beyond belief, the bully picks up Kay and is ready to clobber him until Kay, thanks to his raunchy thoughts, activates his suit's powers and knocks this bully out. What Kay doesn't know is that his life will now be on the line yet again in less than a week. Okay, this was the best case scenario, and frankly Kay walked the line here a little bit. If he had killed this bully, then this would have only caused further problems for him down the line. Think about it. The charges for murder and manslaughter are indictable offenses, which can only be heard by the district court or the Supreme Court and can result in capital punishment by hanging. And even if Kay didn't get the death penalty through this, an investigation into this murder would likely lead back to the suit that Kay used to murder that bully, which would have inevitably led back to the discovery of Gantz, which, if the country found out about its existence, would have led to Kay's death by Gantz. Because if we remember, the rules set by Gantz at the beginning stated that if anyone finds out about Gantz, this would be punishable by death. So Kay needs to watch how he handles the public when he has his suit on.
Hey, so 80% are you not subscribed, so go subscribe now. See ya!
Elsewhere, we see a tough biker dude, red-haired guy, who's playing house with his baby mama and son as he goes off to buy some cigarettes and milk for his kid, not realizing that he's about to die within a few days. Back at Kay's house, Kay returns to find red-haired girl waiting outside and who has a strange request. Turns out she's homeless and needs a place to stay. This terrifies Kay as to the possibilities that are about to happen, at least according to his horny teenage imagination. Later that night, Kay and red-haired girl lay in bed as Kay tries to be cheeky and cop a feel, but then all of a sudden is met with red-haired girl's sad story, explaining to him how she came to be in Gantz due to her attempted suicide and is simply too distraught to be in the mood for anything. Later in the morning, Kato and his little brother sit in punishment at their aunt's house. This aunt likes to beat children, and Kato has had enough of her shit as he threatens her, telling her to stop hurting his little brother. Kato needs money to take his brother away from this child-abusing aunt before it's too late. The next day, Kay hits the supermarket with red-haired girl, but he's strapped for cash until he meets Grandma, the very same Grandma who he met on the subway moments before he died. Kay then rushes home with red-haired girl and asks her to put on her Gantz suit, as he thinks that this is a sign that he'll get a call from Gantz very soon. Kay needs to learn how this suit works before he is sent back in to risk his life for Gantz. Alright, it's a little bit nuts that Kay hasn't figured out how his suit works by now. Who knows when Gantz will call them back in? He needs to get acquainted with his biosuit ASAP. If I was him, I would have coordinated with the other members in my team and would have tried to set up training days where we would all come together, have a good kumbaya, and figure out how the suit works and its mechanics together. I would have also worked together with Kato to take advantage of this redhead better for the next game. Hear me out now. It's obvious that at this point that red-haired girl isn't attracted to me, but is attracted to Kato. By communicating with Kato that red-haired girl just loves him, we can manipulate the red-haired girl and make her think that she has a shot with Kato. This way, her and him would get real close together. Then by the time we have the next Gantz game, we could use her to do our bidding and or tasks for us, while risking her life over ours. Red-haired girl struggles to put on the Gantz suit, and she asks Kay how to use it, but Kay is scared to tell her the naughty truth. So he says that they'll have to find out for themselves before heading to school. Meanwhile, Judgment Day has arrived, and the very same grandma from before, I hate that woman, takes her kid on a day trip, not realizing that today is the day that both of them will die. At school, Kato saves this this kid from getting bullied, as the bullies themselves get pissed off and plan to beat Kato up after school, with this bully planning to violate him, if you know what I mean. But thanks to one dude informing Kato about these bullies' horrifying plan, Kato then takes matters into his own hands and goes into the bathroom himself later on and absolutely destroys this guy, clobbering his face in with no remorse or regard for human life. This isn't the good boy Kato that we know, and Gantz has made him a changed man, and it's this level of heartlessness that Kato will need to use in Gantz soon. Elsewhere, these two girls check out this guy, Mr. Stud, who's a famous model who now has a stalker as he notices this girl following him. He then asks these two heart-flustered girls if he can borrow their bikes. The girls agree, as Mr. Stud takes off in haste, not realizing that this bike, by tonight, will cost him everything. I'm sorry, but if you're a famous, handsome stud like me, and I know everyone agrees, then Mr. Stud himself should have already been prepared to combat his stalker, even if she is a tiny little girl. It's anime, people. If she's small and tiny, she's very powerful. You know what I mean. I'd personally recommend my favorite, the Saber Red Pepper Spray keychain. Small, compact, and very cute, but also discreet. And speaking of red peppers, what Kato faced was actually very unsurprising, as bullying in Japan is actually a very, very big problem, with a record number of incidents in a single year as high as 414,378 cases, from elementary right through senior year high schools. And this, like the country itself, has been linked toward issues regarding conformity, meaning if you're taller than average, or prettier, or look different, then you could be a target. Hats off to Kato, but maybe wear a mask next time, just so you don't get caught. And hey, remember, we didn't start this fight, so we're in the right, sorta. The night of everyone's death has arrived, as redhead biker guy gets ready to go out and buy milk, not realizing that tonight is his last night alive. He heads out and stops by his gang's chill out spot, as they suddenly get jumped by a rival gang. The horror show has just begun. The rival gang draws first blood, as red-haired guy fights for his life, beating dudes up left and right as his life depends on it, because it does. At the same time on this bridge, the grandma and grandson get stuck at the back of a traffic jam on the highway, and even crosses paths with motorcycle guy who's stuck right next to them, and the universe prepares for what's about to happen. Suddenly, a truck in the distance speeds up, with this driver fast asleep at the wheel, as the truck simultaneously gains momentum and heads straight for Granny and Mr. Stud, just as red-haired guy gets stabbed in the stomach and falls. As his consciousness withers out of existence, the truck then slams into Mr. Stud, Grandma, and her grandson, killing all of them, with Gantz laying claim to the fallen victims of this night, as everyone dead or alive from before gets teleported back into Gantz. According to the CDC, an estimated 1 in 25 adult drivers have reported falling asleep at the wheel in the past 30 days, with drowsy driving being responsible for over 91,000 crashes, resulting in 50,000 injuries and nearly 800 deaths, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. That's a lot of players for Gantz to use. Now, realistically, the person with the best chances of surviving was this kid. Children on average have chubbier bodies and a higher proportion of body water, so they are more robust to injury. They're also likely better able to cope in dangerous situations, as they would be on average more relaxed than adults, who will be quicker to understand when their lives are at risk. But also, he was the only one who could have possibly made it out in time from before the truck hit. Grandma is likely way too dang old and slow to react at the speeds necessary to stand a chance. Unless she has a lot of titanium plates in her old bones, then maybe she'll survive. Anyways, Mr. Stud was trapped on the bike thanks to that clingy stalker of his. Just so y'all know, it's not like the movies. The oil tanker truck itself actually wouldn't have necessarily exploded unless it was nearly empty, as, if we assume there was gasoline in it, would have needed oxygen to burn, and a lot of it to cause an explosion. But of course, kids are stupid. Everyone appears in the room, but this time with some new members, as red-haired guy shows up with his fallen gang, along with Grandma and her grandson and Mr. Stud. All the new players mirror how Kei and Kato reacted when they first came here, freaking out and demanding answers. Kato tries to tell all of them the gist of the situation, but no one believes him, especially the biker gang, not knowing that they'll soon all be at risk of dying a horrible death if they don't get it together quick. Just then, Gantz turns on and gives the group the rundown of their next alien target, this Suzuki alien, who looks harmless and barely a threat, and the biker gang laughs it off, thinking this to be a prank of sorts, underestimating their target, and that was their biggest mistake. Suddenly, Gantz releases the weaponry. As this excites the biker gang, the group then haphazardly begins getting ready. Just as Kei realizes that he left his suit at home, he starts to freak out, knowing what we already know, that he's dead meat without it. Red-haired guy starts starts to believe what Kato is saying as he suits up, as he tries to make the others listen, but Kei in the background tries to be sneaky and grabs the other gang member's suit to wear. You might as well if they're not interested. But then Kato finds out that Kei doesn't have his suit, and then pleads for one of the gang members to lend Kei their suit, but none of them agree. And even creepy-haired kid says that all suits are made for the individual assigned wearer, meaning wearing any suit Kei wears will not work unless it's his own. Kei's face turns white as one of the gang members tries to shoot creepy-haired kid in the head, but fails, just as he returns the favor, but this time killing one of the biker guys, spilling his blood everywhere. Creepy-haired kid has had enough politeness for one day and mentions that in Gantz, everybody is against everybody, claiming that everyone in here is just a walking corpse with an expiration date, especially Kei. And just then, they are teleported by Gantz to the next game. Okay, so I acknowledge this is not good, but our odds of surviving have just gone up exponentially. We've gotten new members who are clueless as to what's going on, which is great. We can use that to our advantage. I would have preyed on the vulnerable people in this group, starting with Grandma and her kid. We may as well use the stupid motorcycle gang, excluding red-haired guy, he's pretty cool. This would have been the perfect opportunity to lie to them about the purposes of the game and the need for a Gantz suit. And this way during the game, I could have separated the new members and used them as bait to lure the aliens towards us. We all noticed that the green alien was more vulnerable when he was distracted, before creepy guy shot him. So in this regard, we could use this same strategy to at least ensure that we are not the first ones to die as we try to catch the aliens one by one, using the new members as bait. Suddenly, Kei appears as he pops into existence right near the terrifying Suzuki robot, and it's headed right for him. They have 57 minutes left. The alien goes past him and to his surprise doesn't attack him until he accidentally captures its attention. Now, coming for him, Kei runs for his sweet little horny life as he finds the main group nearby, and the group lays eyes on this very fast, strong, and menacing Suzuki alien, who won't stop at anything until everyone is dead. The group stands frozen as they don't know if this wimpy robot is the only alien, and we know how that turned out last time. This alien then gets angry and uses its supersonic voice blaster, blowing back everyone and causing the invisibility factor of creepy-haired kid's suit to turn off. He then tries to shoot the robot as it hovers above him, forcing creepy-haired kid to make a run for it as he turns his invisibility back on. But this robot is too damn smart for him and senses where creepy-haired kid is until the worst thing happens. Creepy-haired kid's invisibility suit has just run out of battery. He's trapped. The robot draws nearer to him, prepared to kill him, as creepy-haired kid then begs for everyone else up on the bridge to save him. But red-haired guy then tells him that he needs to repent for his sins for killing his biker buddy earlier, and if he does that, then he will save him. But creepy-haired kid refuses as he makes one last move and attempts to punch the alien just as his suit loses all of its health. Creepy-haired kid then begs for his life one last time. Kato has had enough. He jumps down there to save him, but the robot then screams at a supersonic pitch, blinding and deafening him. Kato then distracts the alien and grabs creepy-haired kid before he is knocked down by the robot, just as Kato pulls a last stand move and bear hugs the robot, squeezing the life out of him, literally. As much as I hate this creepy-haired kid, him being vulnerable means that he'd make the perfect bait for any situation from now on, and also means that the most experienced member of the game is done for, which is good news for us since we're the second most experienced members in this game. Saving him was necessary as these robots, while dangerous, were not the most dangerous in the game. If we can predict that the Gantz game will use the same rules every time, then it's safe to assume that these Suzuki aliens are not the toughest bad guys that we have yet to face in this round, as we usually bump into them towards the end of the game. This means that the toughest alien is still out there, which means we need all the help we can get, including having somebody barely alive to use as a distraction. I would have done exactly what Kato did, but not out of compassion or human nature, but out of calculating tenacity, because we need to be ruthless. Granny and her grandson tag along with the other people and they decide to go home. But then suddenly this guy's head explodes, causing everyone to start running like their lives depend on it. Kato, now with a badly injured creepy-haired kid, wonder why they haven't been transported back yet, as this guy is running out of time, but then realizes a fatal mistake. If they haven't been transported back, that means they haven't found all the aliens yet. And to add to the bad news, creepy-haired kid finally dies, as his damaged body exhales its last breath. Just then, the motorbike gang comes back, scared shitless, informing the group of what just happened, that they can't leave the area until they finished the game. They also realize that Grandma and her kid aren't here, so they set out to find them and the aliens, leaving a suitless Kay, red-haired guy, and this biker guy behind. But this biker guy has other plans, as he aims his lethal gun at both red-haired guy and Kay, demanding their weapons. Meanwhile, Kato and the group finds Grandma and her grandson, but also find on the locator more terrifying aliens headed their way. Kato then tells the Grandma and her grandson to run, as Kato grabs the robot, squeezing the life out of it as more aliens try and kill him, killing one alien and its inner chicken before his suit gets fully drained. He's out of health. Defeated and weak, Kato sits there waiting to die until red-haired chick starts blasting away some aliens and they work together to defeat the group. They then realize that they need to find the Grandma and her grandson and the rest of the group before it's too late. There were more than enough people in this situation to handle this alien if they managed their responsibilities better. This alien is known as a Suzuki alien, which is a bird-like organism that cannot survive in our environment, hence why they need to live in a cybernetic suit in the form of Seiji Tanaka for whatever reason. This means that despite their hull being strong, their hull was their one weakness. The gang could have split up and distracted the aliens from the jump and then surprised the alien by using a 4 to 5 man team to combat it, with one Gantz player armbarring the neck, resulting in the Suzuki alien being unable to move their neck, effectively limiting their neck's anatomical range of motion and preventing them from shooting their oral energy beam from almost all directions. Then, the subsequent Gantz players could have grabbed a hold of each of the alien's limbs, with another 2 members being the ones to squeeze the alien's hull from the back and front of the alien body, disabling its ability to fire its beams from its mouth and arms, and then being able to compress the alien's body without taking damage, squeezing the hull until the bird alien within dies, coming out like a bottle of squeezed toothpaste. Elsewhere, Kay and red-haired guy are led by gunpoint by this biker guy until they come across a signal showing the location of some more aliens, and he shoves Kay into the house to check it out, not realizing that this location may be the location of all of their deaths if they aren't careful. Back in Grandma's area, she has the biggest problem of all. Her grandson needs to pee, and he takes his suit off to take a leak. Suddenly, more terrifying robots show up, and the grandma quickly tells the kid to run, but as the grandson runs away, he stops as he hears his grandma's horrifying screams, causing him to go back and witness the most savage sight. It's Grandma, but she's covered in blood. He goes to hug her as they embrace tenderly in their last moments, before being obliterated by the aliens. Kato arrives late to the bloodbath, and he sees the grandmother and her grandson's blood-covered corpses. They were too late. Back at Kay's location, he stumbles upon a hallway, and he hears some noises rumbling behind the door. And just then, all the doors open to reveal even more horrifying aliens. And to add to more bad news, a new alien emerges from the back room. The most insane thing that Kay has ever laid his eyes on. This terrifying monster bird alien. Oh my gosh, that thing is bigger than the big prawn of New South Wales. But we can't rely on the Australians to help us beat this bird when they couldn't even beat the emu way back when. Useless. No offense, Australia. But my bet is that this bird's weak point will be like that of those of the aliens from earlier. This alien seems to be a modified version of the Suzuki alien. And what this does makes me suspect that this alien's reliance on external resources to function normally may be the key to defeating it. Especially if we deduce that the apparatus flowing into its mouth is its breathing apparatus, much like our encounter with the previous robot aliens. In theory, we could try gunning it towards the breathing apparatus by shooting at it point-blank range. We need to try and disable the one thing keeping it functioning within our atmosphere before this bird tries to clear the building, because once it leaves, then it will be game over for us, as it'll have the upper hand when it takes flight. Kay was already within grabbing distance when he held up that bird at point-blank range. He simply had to blow a hole through its breathing equipment, causing its demise in one fatal sweep. Ugh, why didn't he do that? With only a few minutes on the clock, Kay tries to muster some courage, but is met with a shitstorm of a situation, causing the building to crash and Kay to get the hell out of there. But the horror show isn't over yet, as this alien blasts out the door and grabs this blonde guy, tearing his head right apart, suddenly grabbing Kay in the process and flying him high into the sky. Kay struggles to try to break free, but he's no match for this feathered beast. If he doesn't free himself soon, then they are all dead. With 8 minutes left to go, Kay struggles and finally finally frees himself from this feathered beast, but it comes at the cost of falling straight to his death. In his last moments mid-freefall, K busts out his blaster and blows a hole in this alien a mile wide, causing him to kill the final opponent in this death-defying game. He survives the epic fall and the death game itself, finally teleporting everyone back to Gantz for their scores and for their freedom. But they know what we know, that this horrifying game isn't over, and it's only a matter of time until their turn to play comes again.
And if you like playing with dirty Japanese monsters as much as I like playing with watches, like, comment, let us know what you liked and of course didn't like, and don't forget to check out the How to Beat playlist down below.